we're still in the early hours of understanding what this means, but I think this may end up being a very big deal. Today, the Post broke news that the highest-ranking career official at Treasury, a man named David Liebreich, is leaving the U.S. government, quote, after a clash with allies of billionaire Elon Musk over access to sensitive payment systems. So Elon Musk and his team of people have reportedly been asking Treasury for access to the payment systems that the government uses to pay its bills, to pay out trillions of dollars a year across the federal government, also payments to businesses and individual households. So if you're a federal worker, before your paycheck hits your bank account, it goes through this system. Same thing if you get a Social Security check or a Medicare benefit. Payments to government contractors, tax refunds, grant recipients. You get the idea. This is basically the government's checkbook at the Treasury Department, how they pay for everything. It's so sensitive that only a few career officials actually have access to use this system. But according to the Post today, Elon Musk and his team have demanded access to it as well, which led to a dispute with a very high-ranking career official at Treasury who's now quit over this dispute, who's now resigned. The Post says it is unclear what exactly Elon Musk's team wanted to do, why they wanted access to this incredibly sensitive system. One former Treasury Department official tells the Post, quote, this payment system has never been used in a way to execute a partisan agenda. You have to really put bad intentions in place for that to be the case. I do not know enough about what this payment system does or how it works to understand the implication of it potentially being misused. But I will tell you, I have been watching enough of these red flags in the last 11 days to recognize that this is a very big one. And if the people in control of this very sensitive, very highly restricted system now do have bad intentions for what they're going to do with it, what does that mean? What is the scope of what they could do? Joining us now is Washington Post senior White House reporter Isaac Arnsdorf, who's one of the reporters who broke this story. He's also the author of Finish What We Started, The MAGA Movement's Ground War to End Democracy. Mr. Arnsdorf, thanks very much for being here. I know it's a really, really busy night. Let me start by asking you what kind of information, what kind of system this is, this payment system.
Well, what you said is exactly right, Rachel. This is the checkbook. This is how the government's bills get paid. And David Liebreich, as the most senior official in the Treasury Department, who was the acting Treasury Secretary until Trump's nominee was confirmed, is the expert at managing it, including managing the debt ceiling, which, as we know, is coming up really, really soon with the spending limit in danger of being breached. That is all, he's the expert on that. That's his expertise. All the payments to this is how the government pays its bills. And it's never been anything that has any political role. And Liebreich is a professional. He's worked there for many decades and through both administrations. And this isn't something that they're just making the payments that Congress authorized and that the government obligated.
And Isaac, I'll tell you, the reason I wanted to talk to you tonight, even though this is a very busy night and a lot's going on, is because I'm really spooked by the quote from the former Treasury official who says, seems to be really raising the alarms that somebody with bad intentions who wanted to use this payment system for partisan reasons could do something very alarming, that's something that we should really worry about. And it would seem Mr. Liebreich resigning, given all the different presidents he served, would also seem to be raising that red flag even higher, that this is something dangerous. What do you think the stakes are in terms of the misuse of this system that you're describing?
Well, my understanding is that this dispute between him and the DOE's representative was that he wanted to know what they wanted to do with the system, not trying to be uncooperative, but how could he be helpful? And that led to them putting him on administrative leave, and rather than that, he decided to retire. But we are still working to figure out what exactly they have in mind with trying to get access to the payment system, and if they're going to succeed in doing so. But obviously, this comes in the backdrop of what Trump appointed Elon Musk and the Doge to do, which is root around in the federal government to look for spending cuts. And obviously also the OMB memo from earlier this week, where the administration was temporarily and to some extent still just flat out refusing to spend money that Congress appropriated and authorized to be spent because they don't want to.
Yeah, it's one thing to fight over whether or not spending is allowed to go out. It's another thing to seize the checkbook on which, by which payments are effectively made. Isaac Arnsdorf, senior White House reporter for The Washington Post. I can tell this is a story that we have not heard the end of. Thank you for helping us understand it tonight, and we look forward to talking to you about it again.